And welcome back to another day of the Overwatch League here in APAC. I'm Achilleos, joined once more by Avril, and oh boy, do we have a stacked day for you this evening. 3 matches, starting off with the side of the Seoul Dynasty going up against the Chengdu Hunters. Just yesterday, we got to see 4 of our 7 teams do battle. Now we get to see the other 3 and see how they fare in this new meta.
Yep, and some interesting looks yesterday as well. Interesting results, 3-0s across the board. Probably expected a little bit more from the teams losing. You know, we had Qualifiers Charge, who have a bit of a retooled roster. Hopefully they do better as the weeks go by. Hangzhou Spark as well. We expected that one to be a much closer game, but with Alpha Yi out of the picture and working with Architect, who hadn't been scrimming with the team, things didn't look too great for Hangzhou so far.
Yeah, it was definitely rough. Thought that one was going to be a bit closer there, but like you said, Alpha Yi not there. That kind of likely scrambles the typical communication and flow of the squads. We'll go ahead and take a look at the standings here, though, just to see where our other squads are at, the teams that we haven't gotten a look at yet, such as the Chengdu Hunters. So we'll go ahead and take a quick little peek. You can see they're right there just behind the Philadelphia Fusion, who will be playing in, I believe, our 3rd series this evening. So we'll get to see everybody else, including the Valiant, to see how they're all going to be looking now that Junker Queen's in the game.
And what I find really interesting about this is you can see the 2 big winners from yesterday, Seoul and Shanghai, now at the top of the standings. It was Spark holding that 2nd place position for so long. With Shanghai there now, their actual regular season record of 10-3 is matched with the Seoul Dynasty. The only reason Seoul are ahead is because of that extra 2 points from winning the kickoff clash. Obviously, the map differential favors Seoul heavily as well, but only 2 points separating those teams.
Yep, neck and neck for the most part there between them. Hangzhou Spark also not far behind. If they can have a better showing here today versus the Shanghai Dragons, potentially take them down, then obviously they will have undone that loss from yesterday for the most part and keep themselves right there in that 2nd place spot right behind the Seoul Dynasty, nipping at their heels. Guangzhou Charge, unfortunately, still needing to bounce back. Like you said, they have retooled that roster, and I think that, you know, with some time, given the names that are now playing for that squad, they can find the synergy. They can get their stuff together and potentially pick up some wins, because right now it's not looking great. Obviously, not the worst map differential that we have in the league, as well as you and I were pointing out to me earlier on today. But yeah, you don't want to be in that club. We'll take a look at our starting lineups, though, in just a moment here for both of these squads and see what we have. I think we can kind of anticipate what we're going to be seeing from both teams, just given the lack of a deep bench from the side of the Chengdu Hunters, and as well as what we saw yesterday from the Dynasty. So yes, it's exactly the same lineup.
And Sokka receiving play of the match yesterday for his performance on the Genji, but special shoutouts as well to Prophet coming through on the Brig, which was, again, very unexpected. We know Prophet obviously had a bit of a Brig in 2019 in the GOATS era, but he mostly played Zarya during that meta as well. So this is kind of a bit of a re-emergence of the Prophet support from all the way back then. And he did quite well in Midtown. I noted that he was only 1 final blow behind the 2 DPSs, which is crazy good for a Brig player. And beyond that, seemed like he had it all down pat in terms of knowing what a Brig is supposed to do. And certainly didn't see any glaring issues or mistakes from Prophet, anything that would indicate that this was somebody that was not prepared to play this role. In fact, if you had turned off the nameplates, you'd have assumed it was a normal support player.
Yeah, I liked that almost immediately there was some conversations happening on subreddits and whatnot saying, like, is this going to hurt Prophet's chances of winning the MVP award? I'm like, no, it's not at all. If he continues to just play it incredibly well and shows depth, if anything else, this should actually really further empower him to be in the conversation for the MVP award at the end of the season. But I digress. At the end of the day, all you need to know, Prophet, he's the GOAT. He continues to look great no matter what role he's playing. Maybe we'll get to see him play tank sometime. I don't really know. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what the Chengdu Hunters are cooking up, because, you know, if there is one team that we have in the league that would maybe break away from this Junker Queen, this Jotes, which I think is one of the worst names ever, mold, it could be this squad, but we're still anticipating that they're going to be running the same exact meta, because Leave there, of course, on the Sojourn, going to be incredible, and Jinmu has been leveling up his Genji ahead of the mid-season madness.
And that's the thing, right? Because, you know, I've heard the rumblings, oh, could Jinmu bring out the fire? He is the fire guy after all. And the problem I have with that is it's possible that he does bring out the fire, but what does fire really bring to the table in this meta? At least on the contenders patch, fire was bugged so that she had extra ult charge. Now that bug has been fixed, it's not like you're abusing that anymore. beyond it, I think Fire just gets very easily countered by an Echo, which Sorka would be very happy to go towards, given that he did show that on Ilios yesterday as well. So Jinmu, I think one of his best heroes so far this year has been the Genji. You got to play what works here.
All right, well, we'll see if they have any surprises for us as we do get ready to go into game. But first, of course, we have to take a look at the map set. And, okay, yes, already going to be having some even newer faces coming through here, as we will start off with Old Faithful and Ilios, but round things off on Nepal. And, yeah, Paraiso going to be right there for Hybrid.
Ilios, so we already kind of already hinted towards this, but Stalker played the Echo on Ilios yesterday, specifically on Well. We'll see if that continues here. In post-match interview on the Billy stream, the Chinese stream, they interviewed Prophet. He did say something about that being a bit of a signature strategy for them. Didn't want to divulge into it too much, but I would expect that something similar can and will maybe come out. Don't get baited by the Chengdu comp. There's almost a 0% chance they're running that. So, yeah. Gaga over Daisy as well. Interesting to come on through.
You say this. No one's swapping.
I'm leaving the
gates
broadcast.
have now opened. Okay, all right.
Enjoy your broadcast, fellas. I'll see you next time.
I'll hold it down. All righty. Well, as Avril makes his departure, let's go ahead.
Go.
Well, now that they're seeing the Pharah, perhaps he's going to have to rotate back. You can already see, I believe it's Fitz who's shifting over into the dropship right now. Yes, they are indeed. And he's just going to go for the Ash, at least to try to take him out of the sky. We'll see if the Echo is there to match or if Stalker's just going to be sticking with the Genji for the time being. Seems like that is going to be the case. But, you know, I didn't really fully believe my words when I said it, but they are trying to run something a little bit different. Anti-Nate at 1-3, but there's going to be no follow-up there. Nice little sleep dart does connect on the Stalkers. He puts some pressure here into the back line. Monk trying to get some reinforcements, and Jinmu will send a rocket his way. Nicely timed to go ahead and get that punish. Nation in the meantime gets a res there. Gaga back into the fight. The cleanup is coming through, and so far, it is working a treat for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. The initial cap, despite the early pick on the Gaga, did not come through from the Dynasty, and now instead it's going to be Hunters who locked down the point to begin with.
Yeah, but an early cheese to come through in the morning. By the way, for Stalker, he wouldn't actually lose ult charge if he did go to Echo because of the new DPS passive anyway. So that avenue is open. I don't mind the Asher. I think it's pretty reasonable. The other interesting quirk about the Chengdu lineup is they're actually running Nisha on the Mercy with the Fire. Now, typically in this meta and in Overwatch 2, you don't often see the Mercy with the Fire anymore. You would normally actually probably more see like a Zen or a Brig to just heal the Fire from long range. But they are very committed to getting as much done as far as possible.
They are in Fitz, just left out the dry in the back lines. The reinforcements cannot arrive fast enough. Gaga, however, does give his life for that pickoff. This also means that Jinmu is that much safer up in the skies. You can see Stalker trying to climb up on top of the buildings, apply some pressure, get those shurikens through, but it's not enough to try to take him down. The boop comes through, knocks Smurf out into the open, the barrage comes in. Jinmu not going to be able to find the elimination, but they also cannot get rid of this Pharah, so he is still out in the fight. Layering in these rockets continuously. Gaga manages to jump forward, plays off the back of that one, finds Stalker, and that's the cleanup once more coming through for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. They hold the point.
And they're pretty far ahead, 60% as well, working towards some more ultimates coming on through. Nano will be online, that will go towards Gaga. And Gaga's, I think, job is the most difficult here across the 5 members because Winston gets shredded by the Junker Queen, and you kind of have to play close range as well, so you're very likely going to be run over. Has to be very careful with how he manages his cooldowns, especially that shift to get away. Bob is available here as well.
Getting tagged low. Fitz just trying to line up that headshot, get the punish, and at least, at the very least, burn the res. Stalker, in the meantime, is going to be the one that falls, and Leave gets the better of Fitz as well. So 2 quick kills picked up for him. Yeah, does receive the nano, and it is paying off dividends for them. Jinmu as well going to be able to find 2. Setting some shots over towards Vintame, who is very much on the opposite side of the map from where he should be. Now he's been found, and that is going to be your delay. Smurf just now swaps over onto the Doomfist. Looks like Stalker does manage to get the touch, so the blade at the ready. The Bob there for Fitz as well, but this needs to be big. Barrage comes down. They're looking to just zone Smurf off the point for now. They take him low. They haven't been able to finish the job quite just yet. Stalker now as well playing forward. Dashes up into the air. Jinmu with the quick punch manages to take him down. The blade finds absolutely no value. Half a second with it in his hands, and then it's taken away. The OT bleeds away, and they change up the meta a bit here. Well, quite a bit. And the Chengdu Hunters take the first round of Ilios 100-0. Yeah,
whole Dynasty look a little bit confused, and I think everybody looks a bit confused because this is out of left field. Even for Chengdu, I mean, this is crazy. They have the history of being a team that likes to run other things, and here we go. They are certainly going to be that team. Seoul kind of flabbergasted. We saw even an earlier fight where Vinding used a sound barrier onto just 3 people. I mean, they were desperate. They were looking for anything. Stalker having his blade shut down by Jinmu, a quick melee for a quick kill. Question will be, can Chengdu continue this? And I'm not just talking about this map. Okay, Elios, you keep running this Nano, Winston, Pharah, Ashe kind of look. But once we start to move into other maps, you know, how much further can this go? Does this have the gas and attack to take them to a series win? Stalker's going to come out on the Genji again. Okay, a couple players being sped back. Seoul's going to make some changes. I really do need to see the Echo here.
Okay. So change-ups are there, but it's not what you anticipated. It's not going to be the Echo. It's actually going to be Stalker moving over to the Tracer. And
the D.Va deals with the Pharah in some ways, which I respect, but I think you're just playing the worst tank. I think now Gaga's got a free game. Gaga's got a much easier game now because he doesn't have to deal with the Jungle Queen.
Well, already. I mean, Leaf just does a double take, says, oh, you're in the corner right there. Taps him in the head, hits him in the chest. That Stalker out of the fight. Vitsa's managed to find Jinmu. The res, of course, going to be available from Nisha, but now with Leaf getting dropped as well, he's got to take his choice of DPS to try to bring back into the fight. And right now, it seems like he's just not in a good enough position to make it happen. Nisha narrowly avoids getting taken down, retreats back over into the sauna with the rest of the squad. The first lockdown will be there for the side of the Dynasty this time, able to get some percentage on the board. But for how long? We'll have to just wait and see.
Swap to Genji. So they've actually given up the Pharah here. Don't want to deal with the D.Va or the Ashe combination. I think this needs to be a bit of impetus for some of the Seoul members to think about swaps as well. But you've kind of baited Smurf onto the D.Va now. And now you look at the Chengdu comp, and you'd say on paper it looks like a stronger comp overall. Nisha towards the Brig as well, so they don't need the Mercy anymore. Working towards that first Nano. Seoul do have the cap percentage to work with so far, so Chengdu still get the move on.
What they do, you can see pressure being applied into the back line. Wow. Profit being taken so very low here on this Ana. Good anti out into the Dynamite from Leaf. Takes him low, but Fitz still manages to turn around, take out Gaga. Will be the break on the mechs. Desuited. Now into the pilot form. Svinheim gets antied. Killed off by Monk. Seems like the Chengdu Hunters just off the back of this pick alone may just have enough space now to open up the point. Smurf finally going to be taken down, so don't have that annoying little pilot to try to keep things contested. But Stalker is looking to make sure that they hold on to this. Pulse bomb in, does get one. Dive back over to the point. Gaga staying alive, drop down Stalker. Nanoed up, just trying to escape, trying to stay in the fight, still trying to offer up some damage, but with Leaf gone, seems like he should have a good window of opportunity to go ahead and just pound away. Gaga not going to be able to escape, but no, it's going to be the hold coming through, yet they managed to keep this in their grasp.
Yep, and late kills coming through as well. Profit onto Jinmu. By the way, this is our first time ever seeing Profit on an Ana. Worldwide global premiere, by the way. We know, okay, he's got a bit of experience in the break,
I can think of, yeah.
Totally uncharted territory. So far, seems to have done okay. Get the Nan onto Stalker, keeps him alive, keeps him in the fight. That allows Stalker to get some kills. The final shot onto Jinmu is good. Speaking of Jinmu, we'll need to pull the blade here.
Second, I thought Fitz is going to be sending himself off the side of the map. He does manage to stay grounded there. Now it's going to be the Primal Rage coming through. Jinmu cuts across, finds Profit, and they don't. All right, it's my turn to leave.
Gaga tried, but
Goodbye.
you can just see he got there too late. So this is now going to be a no caster broadcast. Zero cast.
We are
just only gameplay.
We are so deep in the Chengdu zone right now. It's unbelievable. Like, we are hitting new depths. We've gone to the bottom of the Mariana Trench that is the Chengdu Hunter Zone, and we've found that there is another passage that goes even further down into the crust of the earth. Okay.
My.
A thing that just happened, but here we go. Some stability found for the side of the Dynasty, and looks like finally the Chengdu Hunters say, okay, enough of the shenanigans. We're going back to the meta. We're just going to be playing the Junker Queen.
Yeah, I mean, that's my question, right? Is how long can you keep up the fire? How long can you keep up the cheese coming through from the, you know, not quite composition, not quite meta that the Chengdu was playing? And a map and a half is the answer to that, because they didn't even fully play through the last round. Straight away opening, Gaga's on half HP.
There he is. Staying up for just a moment, but then he gets chunked out yet again. Smurf right now playing a little bit safer, but Leaf opens things up, finds a nice headshot. Profit's going down as well, so man advantage going to be there for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Nisha going to be lost, but Hunters occupy the point. We'll go ahead and get that first lockdown. Now it's going to be the Dynasty who have to step to them, try to take this back into their grasp.
Just a real shot at looking at how Hunters can play the actual Junker Queen comp as well. See what they can do in these
Profit
neutrals.
just dead again.
Doing reasonably well in the neutral.
It's got a massive punish. It's the bring out of the fight. Monk, I mean, he's already well past double the percentage charge. It's trying desperately to get over to Mega Pack. It's not going to be allowed to do so. Jinmu strikes him down. Punches Stalker as well for playing around the same spot. Jinmu very much looking alive and well on the Genji.
Gotta be careful here not to overstep. Talks about the respawn. You're heading into Seoul HQ in terms of their spawn point. You can't get punished in that position. Jinmu ahead of Stalker for the time being. Monk, you've already said, monstrously ahead of Profit here. So a tempo rally here should secure a fight. Look at Smurf though. Rampage coming up.
Nearly has it the rally. A little bit early. Just go ahead as they push forward. They want to push them all the way back into the spawn and really shut them down. They take some nasty tag of damage. Stalker as well. Receiving very much the same. Beat has been invested. Nisha about to have his at just 5%. Dash up over the top. The blade still going to be held by Jinmu. He's waiting for his moment. The moment is now. Pulls it out. Looks for a target. Spots the Lucio there for just a brief little moment. Finally, will manage to get a kill in onto Smurf. Prime target, the Rampage, now going to be delayed even further as we get closer to one-fight territory here for the side of the Dynasty. Yet to really even set foot on the point itself. Rally now still going to be used. Profit looking to escort them forward. They know that they're going to need to contest this rather soon. Offers up that green HP to everybody that he possibly can.
Rampage and Blade coming in through this fight for sure. We're about to hit the last fight territory. Smurf's just going to line it up. A lot of members in front of him. This could be the moment now. Nisha has to be ready to block.
Oh, the beat comes in, but Monk's already going to fall. It's going to be one of the supports now out of the fight. The shielding going to be expiring, taken away on the majority of the members of the Chengdu Hunters now. Gaga struck down. Won't be able to use the Rampage to try to turn the tides of the fight. Maybe that's going to be a blessing in disguise, as they do have time on their hands. Cleanup is going to be there. The Dynasty finally gaining control of the point, but it's a long road to the top if they want to be able to win this map.
Yeah, losing Monk then means that you don't have the 5 alive, and I think if they had 5 alive, Smurf would have been pressured to use that Rampage, but given the fact that Seoul bladed, they got Monk down, sound barrier's about to dissipate, they're thinking the 5v4 works for us. We have the extra Rampage as a, insurance policy in case we do lose the fight, but they'll be able to save it for the next. So importantly now both teams are the same ults.
Okay, Rampage just gets used, finds Monk, finds Gaga. Gaga's still continuing to just play forward. Because of the Jagged Blade, won't be able to get too much for that, though. Ends up going down and will just hold on to his ultimate at the end of it all, and it's going to be the Dynasty holding on to the point.
Okay, and now as we come through, I mean, Gaga would love to use this Rampage, but as Vindame gets closer to the sound barrier, it's most likely going to get countered. So there was a moment, that was a very important fight for the Chengdu Hunters. I think when you look at both teams on equal ults, we talked about the Rampage exchanges between the two Queen players in previous, games. It really just comes down to who gets to pull the trigger early, and the other team, if they don't get to, if they get hit by a Rampage and they start feeling pressured, they often don't use that Rampage, and they lose the fight instead.
Gaga again, just getting pressured so low every time he tries to approach. Trying to set up for the Rampage. He's going to go for it now.
Oh, the Boop
for it, but no! He absolutely doesn't get anything in. The Boop is absolutely critical. Pushes him to the side. Profit going to be going off the side of the map. Not quite sure what happened there, but still going to be Stalker coming up with an elimination. Jinmu, however, looks to turn the tide of the fight back into their favor. Pulls the blade, only finds one. Stalker gets another kill off screen. His leaf gets dropped. They're on the point for now, keeping it contested, but it's the Dynasty still in control, still picking up. And Smurf currently hovering around half HP. He's got that commanding shout ready to go should he need it, but it looks like he's going to be just fine. Takes down Nisha with the axe. Dynasty, they now hold this. 10% left to go.
This could be dire straits for the Chengdu Hunters. Missing that Rampage, at least Jinmu tries to save it. The cap is still in the control of the Seoul Dynasty. A bit low HP for both the Queen plays, but the support ultimates are coming online. If Profit gets rally, Seoul can survive.
Oh, it's narrow margins, but yeah, they will both fall. Smurf and Gaga now going to be taken out of the fight. It's going to come down to the DPS and the supports to see who can come out on top. And so far, Stalker, again, in these moments, on Ruins, starts looking clutch, comes up with one. Everybody's getting involved. He builds up for the blade, and there's just not a damn thing that Jinmu can do. He's got to kite all the way back just to avoid death, which inevitably does find him. And the Dynasty will manage to take the first map. Ilios is theirs, 2-1, but they certainly had to work for it.
Yeah, I mean, even on that last round, right, we go towards Ruins. It's a 99% claim by the Chengdu Hunters. It's just an unfortunate case where they couldn't quite close it out. They, had a couple of different fights that went awry for them, where, they had the Leave versus Smurf exchange on the Rampage versus the Overclock, where not enough kills came through from Leave. Gaga held Rampage in that particular fight as well, then flooded the next one. Monk dying in a fight where Sound Barrier was available for Nisha, which then didn't pressure out Smurf's Rampage early. So just compounding effects, just small things fight after fight after fight that add up to a pretty reasonable Seoul Dynasty advantage. They hit the 0-99 comeback, and, you know, Prophet lives, he gets to use his rally, Sorka gets to play the end, and it's over.
Yeah. I mean, I get it in the end, but it's one of those blades that you look back on if you're Jinmu and say, if I had just held that for the last fight, we would have the rally, could move forward, and maybe that turns the tide of it. We can get that cap and be able to take this first map. It's hindsight is 2020, unfortunate, but he made the call in the moment, still managed to find a kill, but unfortunately that was about it. Dynasty, though, looking like it might just be struggling a bit against the Chengdu Hunters, as they often do. Chengdu Hunters typically do take these series to be pretty darn close. We'll see if they can answer back, tie it up as we get ready to move into Hybrid, or if the Dynasty will once more be looking for a 3-0 victory. The action's going to continue in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. And we are back. The Dynasty currently leading 1-0, but it was a very close fight there on the side of Ilios for them to be able to get the victory. Chengdu Hunters putting up a fight, showing us some new looks for sure. I mean, rather showing us some old looks as far as what they're, the meta they were running in those first 2 rounds. But inevitably, they succumb to the Junker Queen composition. They run it, and they fall just shy of the mark. Great boop there, of course, at the very end, denying that Rampage from coming through. Still don't know what happened to Prophet, but ultimately, I guess it didn't really matter that he went off the side of the map. Just Prophet thinks, he could still die. The team still got him there to clutch it out. So they have the lead now as we get ready to move into hybrid. We'll see if the Chengdu Hunters, if they're going to be experimenting a little bit more. Something tells me they'll probably just be running the Joes from the get-go. And then we'll see if they can tie it up as we move into one of our newer maps.
And that's the thing, right? Because I look at this Chengdu kind of experimentation on some of the heroes they're deciding to run. And the question was, well, how long can you do this for? How far does this take you? Okay, you can win with it on well, looks good on well. Dynasty are surprised by it. You want to cannon rush a player that will work for 1 game out of the 7-map series. But how many times can you do that in a row? And, can you win a whole series with it? And it doesn't end up going too far because we get to Lighthouse. Jinmu runs a fire for like half of that round. And as we go deeper in the series with a brand new map, Paraíso, coming up in Rio, Chengdu Hunters, to be fair, this map is new enough that it's not entirely worked out, so you could run some interesting things. Now, Stalker coming through on the Echo, first and foremost, as I'll kind of allude to here, is I've seen a number of teams try this, outside of Overwatch League as well. So this first A-point defense, that initial bridge that you see Vindame on here, is extremely defendable because there is no way for the attacking squad to rotate up to that bridge except underneath the bridge and then towards the left up the stairs where Stalker just came from. So very hard to attack.
We'll see how they manage
flanks.
it. Well, as for now, just going to be sticking with it. Looks like Leave's going to go for the opening shot with the Widow. Try his luck, see if he can get somebody caught off guard. Up over the top, he does get the body tag there onto Vinhames. It seems like they weren't quite expecting it, but just gonna go ahead, match on the Echo as well.
It's Echo Genji, so that's really interesting. It allows them to now have, I guess, two players that can take that high ground quickly, and they're just gonna rush into it straight away.
Yeah, already a good amount of pressure being applied there to Fitz. Hasn't really shifted off that position, now joins in with the rest of the squad, just moving across the opposite bridge. Gaga caught there. Oh, it's Lonesome does end up falling as the beam comes through. They're looking to take down the Leave, but just not enough preset damage there for Stalker to be able to get the execute. And instead, he's going to fall down. Leave, great little answer back with those stickies. Does find that kill, but now Monk, Leave, going to be cleaned up as Fitz finds too. So it seems like the initial hold's still going to be going well for the side of the Dynasty. We did see them take some forward aggressive positions that did get punished yesterday versus the side of the Sparks. We'll see if they do that again or if they're going to be playing this a bit more patiently.
I think it's smart that Leaf can go towards the Echo. Last year, I felt like he was the best Echo in the league, next to guys like Pelican. So the fact that Chengdu have this option available is a bit of a boon towards them. It's how they now move around this map to get into the Seoul Dynasty, who are continually moving backwards. So Seoul will actually winning in these 2 little upstairs apartments just in the previous fight, but now Chengdu have that covered. Seoul are in the open.
That they are. Stalker, bit of an awkward spot. He's going to go right back outside, joins in with the rest of the team. The call comes in. They say, yeah, we've got Gaga in a corner. They want to get that kill, and they managed to make it happen as well. Rally built up very swiftly here for the side of Prophet. Pop that one just about instantly. It's helping them to win out the fight. Jinmu picking up 1 for his troubles, but that's about as good as it's going to get. As now Nisha goes down to the back end. They look for a little bit more for some additional staggers, but the Jagged Blade won't be able to connect. Leave in the meantime has just got nowhere to go. Ends up falling. Yeah. So an initial tick does get snatched up here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, but that's about it.
I mean, the good news is, the silver lining for the Hunters is that every single push they seem to be pushing the Seoul Dynasty a little bit further back this time, far enough back that they can secure the tick as mentioned. Thing I'm noticing about this comp from Chengdu that is a bit lacking is because you don't have the Sojin, that instant burst damage that you would normally have from a rail isn't there. Whether it's a headshot or not, even if you just land a body shot, that allows the Genji player then dash on in and get an execute. Here, that's just not really available, so no one's really doing enough burst to get through this double AoE healing.
Okay, they're going to look to contest here up on the high ground. Rally escorting them forward. The overclock is popped by Fitz. Got everybody basically lined up, but he's not going to be able to get any kills, nor any collats. Sound barrier gets dropped in from Vinhames, shields up everybody. Go ahead, they pull away. The second tick is going to be conceded over to the side of the Hunters, the side of the Seoul Dynasty now. They need to push out of this position, try to recontest, because they are continuing to get this cap. Now, Rampage out. Storm finding 4. The sound barrier's there to try to keep everybody safe. Jump forward, Stalker Occupying the point for now, does have that copy out, just putting another Junker Queen into the mix. It seems like the recontest is going to be clean enough for them to be able to hold this at least for a little bit longer. The Rampage gets built up. It's not going to be able to find the ante, but the follow-up is there from the rest of the team to find the additional picks. The Staggers come in. They get up to 97.6%, but now with 50 seconds left to go, the Chengdu Hunters still do not have a .8 cap to show for it.
And that's just the difference maker when you have Vindame able to survive a blade via the sound barrier. Smurf pop does initially get blocked by Nisha, but how do you deal with the Stalker? Junker Queen copying 2 JQs on field. Difficult to deal with. Now, 30 seconds remaining, final fight. They only need 1 tick. Leaf does have his own copy. You can potentially see 2 Rampages out of the Chengdu Hunters. Let's see if they can get that done, because Gaga has struggled. Leaf's on 1 HP.
Leaf?
He's dead!
Leaf's just dead! He didn't get any healing! He was already so very low, doesn't go for the duplicate either to get those high frames. Instead, just absolutely gets annihilated. You can see that slows up everything here from the side of the Hunters. The Jagged Blade into the wall, not going to be finding any value there from Gaga, not going to be able to help isolate somebody. He does still hold on to the Rampage. He's going to try to use it. Dashes across, only clips on the Prophet, and Prophet, he's sitting there with the rally rolling. Gaga going to be cleaned up, Monk going to be taken low. Leaf does go for the dupe, copies out onto the Junker Queen as well. Can he have a performance like we just saw from Stalker so far? The answer is going to be no. He actually gets broken out of it. The axe slash there from Smurf, not going to find a connection, but Fitz absolutely does. They clean them up, and they're looking for the full hold. Jinmu in desperation pulls out the blade, dies in midair, and the sound barrier shielding was there to boot. A full hold here at the side of the Dynasty, looking strong.
Wow, that is an unfortunate way for Chengdu Hunters to end their attack. Yeah, Leave on 1 HP, didn't receive a lick of healing. I have no idea what happened there. 2 supports. Maybe the LOS wasn't there. It's really hard to say what happened in that situation. I think there was enough time for them just to slow down, take the breather, get Leave back up, because you need him alive. You need that copy to get you through the fight. And Chengdu Hunters, you know, even beyond that, they try and go in. Gaga goes for the Rampage. It's a Seoul onto Profit. You have to credit the Seoul Dynasty for being so good at their positioning on that last fight as well, because they know there's a Rampage up for Gaga. So, you know, their spacing is pretty wide to make sure they're not going to get massively caught out by them. They can play wide spacing, being the defending team, get the concave going. Chengdu have to come through from main. There's not really flanking positions on this opening attack. Chengdu Hunters come through pretty much one way. Seoul Dynasty just wait and receive them. Prophet, super tanky, shielded up, rallied up. And here's the other opening as well. If Leave didn't die at that exact moment, Chengdu healed them up and they went in. Prophet doesn't have a rally. He was on 84, 85 or something like that. So because they had to wait, Prophet got a rally. And that was a difference maker as well.
Wow. Now needing the fuller hold if they want to be walking away victorious. Otherwise, Dynasty very well may be able to deliver us a very swift 2-0, much like we saw from them just yesterday. Fitz similarly looking for the jump shot. Seems like Chengdu Hunters are privy to this, and he's actually going to swap over going for the Tracer.
And I can speak to this. The Tracer is a pressure unit to specifically go for this point. So you can play some extremities, you can start harassing the actual checkpoint as well. Because of how difficult it is to get past these opening chokes with the different bridges, a Tracer does allow them to have a bit more flexibility. You can see that Fitz is already getting ready to pressure the point.
All right, dashing around the backside. Fitz going on a bit of a journey. Waiting to spot out some members, make a call. Try to orchestrate a dive, see if it comes to fruition. Stalker already getting in on top of them. That's going to be commanding shout out from Gaga. Does answer back. Max Slash taking down Vinheim, finding a quick little kill. Stalker trying to get Jinmu with help Prophet. They will manage to make it happen. Stalker as well, staying alive. Now just continuing to farm up. Dashes in, gets behind Leaf. And with the help of Fitz, they will find the kill. And that could just be the undoing here of the Chengdu Hunters. Still though, space not being occupied too much here on the point. They finally will start inching forward as they look to just continue to pressure out Gaga. We'll find some stability in this HP bar. Drops down to match. First tick going to be taken over. 40% now accrued here for the side of the Dynasty, and they're more than happy to just poke and prod, take this one step at a time.
Yeah, they don't want to overstep here for sure, because we have another situation where it's low ground versus high ground, so they're going to try and take these upper apartments here to see if they can maybe work their way on to these battlements, these sort of high ground ledges, waiting for that pulse bomb as well, but it's still hard for a Tracer to work in this meta. Leave can't leave.
I mean, yeah, he just has nowhere to go, ends up getting just taken down by the explosion, which the follow-up is immense from the side of the Dynasty. Three more quick kills on the back end. Jinmu going to die. That is the ace. That is going to be the cleanup and the cap. with just taking out, half of the time bank here. The Dynasty managed to make it happen. Now they find themselves with yet another 2-0 lead.
And this one was far cleaner as well. Full hold into well, not quite one attempt, but, into a cap, into a pretty reasonable cap. They play the long game there. Again, they play for the Tracer, which has its risks. I did criticize the fact that, okay, Chengdu didn't run the Sojin on their attack. The lack of the burst damage seemed to hurt them a little bit. Seoul Dynasty, when you don't have fits on that Sojin, similar things can occur where you are lacking that burst. So you need this Tracer to give you enough pressure on the point to pull the Chengdu Hunters back, allow Seoul to get some actual good rotations in, and then collapse on not quite a dive, but some sort of just general team fight where Seoul Dynasty walk up the stairs, Fitz comes from behind and harasses from the other angle, and if he has a pulse bomb, ideally blows somebody up, he gets leave, and after leave goes down, the rest of the dominoes start falling.
Well, seems like maybe most of the gas that was in the tank might have been exhausted on that first map. We'll see, though. Chengdu Hunters now in a position where they need to pull off a reverse sweep if they want to be walking away victorious in their first little debut in the Junker Queen meta. Otherwise, the Dynasty will just continue to reign supreme here in the APAC region and net themselves yet another 3-0 win. We'll see what happens. We have Dorado coming up next for our escort map. See whether or not that's going to be the final map in this series, or if the Hunters can extend it when we come back from the break. And we're back. The Dynasty right now looking to take a rather long evening of matches and make it a little bit shorter for us, as they currently lead 2-0 after a win there on Paraiso. What a victory for them. A full hold into a very quick take. Only needed to burn half the time bank in order to get it done. And we can see that just the thought process there of the Dynasty, willing to just take things one step at a time, poke and prod at the Chengdu Hunters, wait for openings, wait for the Hunters to put themselves in disadvantageous positions, and then capitalize on it and be able to take the win. Now the Hunters need to answer back, try to get a reverse sweep, starting with Dorada.
Yeah, so we're going to have to wait till another match to discover more Rio de Janeiro here. We only got to see the first point. On future maps, though, a lot more familiar territory. Let's talk about the substitutions first. Daisy coming in for Gaga. Man, that's an interesting one. To be fair, I think Gaga has at least somewhat struggled so far on the Junker Queen matchup versus Smurf. Now, I don't know if that's just him struggling, or maybe it's a specific matchup versus Smurf where it is Smurf, after all.
Yeah.
Can be pretty rough. So, what's Daisy going to play? The same thing? Is he going to be playing anything beyond the Junker Queen? Because he does. But that's the thing, right? Like, everything beyond the Junker Queen is, in this particular meta, kind of just worse. So I'd have to imagine this is kind of like a confidence call where it's, okay, we're down 0-2. Gaga's he's not able to do much against Smurf. We might as well try something else. We just got blown out in Paraiso. Like, why not just try something else here? We don't have any roster depth, but what we do have is the ability to at least sub one player in.
All right, well, we'll see what happens and whether or not it's going to be a difference maker. And, if Daisy is going to be playing that Junker Queen, I mean, I think we kind of have to expect that he's going to, because the Zarya at this point that we were primarily seeing from him is just so far outside of the meta that it would be just, I think, a little bit too wild. But you never know. It's the Chengdu Hunters.
The only other hero on this map is like a Sigma, but that's probably even worse than Zarya in this particular meta. Like, I wouldn't recommend it at all. You would, for this map, if it was Gaga still in, there's a possibility that you could see a Winston or a Wrecking Ball. It's not impossible, although I would say technically still worse than the JQ. With Daisy in, that's just off the table, because you're not playing any of those main tanks. You're probably not going to play the Zarya or the Sigma here. And remember, by the way, Zarya is traditionally not very good on Dorado, even historically speaking. So
yes, that's the other facet to this.
There's just not a lot here to work with, and so yeah, it'll be the Daisy Junker Queen, and cross your fingers, hope for the best.
All right, well, we'll see how it looks as we do get ready to jump into this. Escort could be the last little map here in our first series of the day. Seoul Dynasty still looking incredibly strong. And I think you could tell that initial composition change up here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters very much did offset them on Ilios, but when it came down to it, when it came down to that mirror on Ruins at the very end, they managed to just outplay them. Some great boops in there to deny the rampages, etc., and otherwise they just piloted the comp a little bit cleaner. Were able to take the W. So now they found their footing, and they're looking to run away with this.
It's what I'm saying, though, right? Like, you can't rely on, off-meta picks for forever. Like, it'll get you a surprise win on the first round of Ilios, and beyond that, even if you take all of Ilios, I don't think it's enough to win you the whole series, because for it to win you the whole series, you would have to prove that it's not just off meta, it's actually viable to beat Junker Queen. And so far from what I gathered, across scrims, across contenders, across 2 regions of the Overwatch League, across all regions of contenders actually, nothing beats Junker Queen. So here we go, Daisy is indeed going to play that hero.
Oh, Jinmu.
Boot from Prophet does a lot of damage.
Jinmu's still under fire, and eventually he dies. Smurf seemingly finding him down on the low ground. It's already a very early pick, and a good amount of the damage, good amount of that poking and prodding that the Chengdu Hunters can do, taken out early.
How casual this is.
So now,
just taking a car ride.
Just another day at the office.
Bit of a Sunday drive through the streets of Dorado.
It's like cruising home after work and you're just talking to your coworkers, like, oh, what do you just want to stop at McDonald's on the way back?
Smurf had his hands off the keyboard, I mean.
Pretty much. Well, Daisy getting batted around. Axe not going to find any connections there. Jinmu again dead.
Oh
Prophet finishing him off with a whip shot. Jinmu's just unable to play the game. Daisy as well going to fall. Stalker dashes into the back lines, cleans up 2 quick kills. He's looking for a third, but seems like he will show some level of mercy. He says, yeah, he's just like, okay, Nisha, I will let you go. Tell warning to your comrades that we are coming and that they should not put up a fight. Do not resist or we will, quell your uprising.
Did you see that smile on Prophet's face? It's too easy. It's too easy. They just walked up. Jinmu's dead twice in a row. Dicey gets chunked out. Seoul walk forward. Chengdu walk backwards. That is the first kill that Chengdu have had all map, by the way. So finally they're on the board, courtesy of Leave.
They get one, and that allows them to occupy the high ground. I was going to say, they might have a rough time trying to take this, but of course Fitz is really the only one that can get up there aside from Stalker, so not having the Winstons, this should be very much priority positioning for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, but Fitz gets some revenge. Finds Leaves, gets Jinmu, 2 quick kills, and he is just going to be sat on the cart. It's like, yep, I've done my part. I got my kills. Everybody else, you go push forward, see what you can get done. And it's a hell of a lot as it turns out. Prophet again going to be fighting another kills. The whip shot will take down Dicey, and the cart will just continue to glide. It has not been contested a single time so far.
You know what this is? This is Smurf is actually playing support currently because he's the guy providing some green HP to the team, getting some bleed damage in there. Prophet's one of the DPSs. It's crazy that solid 3 DPSs in right now. Prophet is leading on final blows. Is that Bob now? That will be unanswered.
Figured out how to break the meta even further. It turns out all you need is a Prophet on Brigitte. Blade now going to be pulled out. Nisha taken down by Vin. The Bob will even get involved. The coach gun to take out Jinmu, and it is such a swift cleanup. Rally, Blade, fight, win, cap on B. 5 minutes, 20 seconds remaining for the final stretch of Dorado. Chengdu Hunters, can you do anything to stop this cart?
Did you see a sound barrier? Because I didn't. I think that was an Ajax from Nisha, sadly.
I think he got Ajax.
Yep, Monk as well, lost his rally, so it's double support ultimates cancelled. Yes, I think he did that as well to Lee Jae-gon, didn't he? Vindame did that in a match versus Shanghai on Midtown. I think he may have. So yeah, he's Ajax.
Right in front of point B.
Yep,
sounds correct. Yep, the memories are coming out. Those moments, they stick in your brain, no matter how much Overwatch you cast. Oh, Overclock on the high ground, looking for Prophet. Will take him low. It's not going to be enough for the elimination, though. They haven't found the headshot, and that is going to be a 3-man ante off the back of the Rampage. Jinmu, Dicey, Monk, all in dire straits. Stalker as well will get zoned back, but rotates around, grabs the cart as it continues to push forward. 4.5 minutes still remaining for them. As can we get stats to start pulling up? Like, what is the fastest? Yeah, what is the fastest completion we have on Dorado? Because this is looking like it right now. Jinmu can't do anything with the blade. He's gonna pull it. Sound barrier's there. Jinmu immediately is tucked down, and they cannot touch the card. 4 minutes and 17 seconds. They don't contest it.
There wasn't even a fight. There wasn't even a fight.
Like even a single time. Did they stop the cart from moving at all? Because I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I don't think so.
I genuinely don't think there was a single moment, aside from when Jinmu died initially to Smurf at the very beginning of the round, because he dropped down off the top of the building and was next to the cart. I think that was the only period of time which the Chengdu Hunters contested.
Oh, what a boot!
And what the hell was that? Vinay booping him further up into the air and then dragging down that. Can we?
Damn, dude. Play of the week.
Can we just? Can we just give him the trophy?
Just they win the season. It's over. We don't need to play out the rest of it.
I don't care anymore. Vindame is the rookie of the year. All right.
My God.
Oh, that was pretty damn cool. Like that and the Ajax he got against Lee Jae-gon, ridiculous. That I think the clip is still out there. The clip on Midtown B versus Lee Jae-gon, where he Ajax Lee Jae-gon mid B, and then here as well where he specifically just dunked on Nisha. That's that Venom picture of dunking on Spider. That's that. Vindame is the Venom to Nisha Spider-Man in that dunking picture. Mean. This is great. That was an insane play.
This is just incredible. What I'm seeing. All right. Well, contestant of the high ground, Prophet, gonna have to retreat quickly.
Surely this is a world record.
See how this fares. If it's not, I'm amazed, and I need to go back and watch some tape on what the hell actually happened to get the record. Coach Gunn just keep a little bit of distance there against Jinmu, even offers up another body shot to really make him think twice about contesting Fitz in that position. Stalker just continues to poke and prod from the high ground. Jinmu still not receiving any healing yet. Just now get it as I say that. Stalker, he drops down, he dashes through. He's taking this aggressively. And the call, it comes in. Everybody piles in from the side of the Dynasty, and they manage to come up with huge picks. Both supports now out of the fight. Everybody else retreating back into the spawn room. Oh, you cannot die here, Dicey. You cannot die here, Dicey!
I think at this stage, Chengdu have checked out. The bags are packed. There's not even 10:30 a.m. yet. They're waiting at the at the counter. They're like, I'm checking out early this morning. We're good. We're good. At least they moved the payload. I would have liked to have seen this be like a Justice London 2020 situation where I think the payload didn't move out of spawn for like half the game. That'd be funny.
Well, I mean, given the pace right now that's being set, it might not move much further than this right here. Dicey just getting juggled around. Vinhame drops down, I believe boops him forward, stops him from retreating. They managed to find the punish. Cart locked in place, half the time bank nearly drained away. Bob now at the ready. Blade still on the way. Jinmu at least is leading Stalker in that regard, but as I say it, Stalker catches up instantly. 3 quick kills. Just off the back of the rally here from Prophet. Will continue to win out the fights. And Smurf is just like, come on, show a little bit. Let me get that Jagged Blade in here.
They're like literally at the spawn doors. They're like within the spawn. If Smurf could go further than the spawn, he would. They're so deep at the moment. This is an incredible team diff of epic biblical margins.
Yeah. Okay,
where's the
bomb
bot
in the back? Trying to cut off.
Spawn?
He's trying to cut off their retreat options here. They have to play over towards coast side. There's a rampage forward from Smurf. Anti-out onto 3. Nisha trying to save him with the barrier, but 2 members already cleaned up, and it's just going to be, you know, 1 ult used, fight victory. Time and time again, the blade is still held. Their own sound barrier is there. So there's 2 ults as the Bob, but you know.
Can I impart a fun fact for you? I would like to impart a fun fact on you in the audience here.
I need something fun, because right now this is
You remember that leave a rail headshot on B on the defense? That still remains the only kill that Chengdu have had this map. That's still the only.
Oh my god! Are you?
No, I'm serious.
You're kidding, right?
I'm serious.
Okay. Sound barrier goes out. Jinmu pulled the blade. He's already dead. Vinhame cuts him down. Stalker finds Monk. Nisha narrowly tries to retreat, but now Vinhame is there, of course. Okay, Leaf will find his second elimination. They get 2. They have doubled their kill count, ladies and gentlemen. It only took the overclock and about 3 minutes of game time on the attack to make it happen. 47 seconds. The cart is almost rolled. The cart doesn't even have that much space to roll back into.
It's never gone past
only reverse so much.
It's never even gotten onto that straight before the archway. Now it has. So Leave is now 100% deadlifting his team on 2 final blows. That is a 100% deadlift from Leave.
That's just
incredible.
Ah, my God.
Shades of Rio on Route 66.
Yeah, I just don't even have words right now. Dicey is pressured out. Prophet again gets the rally, pops it instantly. They go charging forward. I mean, Chengdu Hunters, can they touch the cart this time? Are they going to be able to? Because even if they do, it's not going to. Yeah, okay. I think that's it. Put a fork in it. Somebody's got to touch it. I don't think they can make it happen. 4 seconds, bleeding away. Jinmu can't get to the cart in time, and there you go. A 3-0. One of the fastest series that I have ever commentated in my life. At the hands of the Dynasty.
The only reason it's not faster is because Seoul had to attack first.
Because they had to attack first!
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I mean, if we
get to see... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, in the play of the match that the audience can't see, we just got to see the Ajax again from another angle, from Fitz's angle. But, what an ending. What an ending. Our second ever 100% deadlift with only 2 final blows. We had one on day 1, Charge versus Valiant. Rio collected that on Route 66, and now the legendary Dorado moment for Chengdu Hunters with Lee's 100% deadlift of only 2 final blows.
I'm
celebrate solo.
Yeah, I mean, jeez. I mean, what else is there to say other than just sounds of admiration and astonishment at the hands of this whole Dynasty here? It's just impeccable play from them across the board. This was another tough one. We were talking about it after the last map. You know, who the hell do you even give the player of the match to? Because this was very much a shared effort and just collectively stomping the ever-loving crap out of the Chengdu Hunters in this game. Yeah. But we decided to leave it in the hands of the statisticians, and they have landed on Stalker. So we're going to be giving yet another player of the match over to Stalker twice in a row now for him, back-to-back. And yeah, I mean, I think, again, this could have gone pretty much any way. Vinhame could have got it. Prophet could have got it. Like, literally anyone on this team would have been totally fine to receive this award.
Yeah, I believe he got something like 40 final blows over the course of the 3 maps with, and I'm counting at the moment, 8 deaths. So let me just double check that. 18 plus 12. Wait, that's 30, I think. Sorry, I'm counting.
That's 30.
No, yeah. So 30 to 8 deaths. That's his literal KD on final blows to deaths. I dominated again. To be fair, this time was a much closer margin. Yesterday, I think he dominated way harder. So it's not like he stat padded. You'll look at these stats, you're like, hey, only 14,000 damage, only 22 final blows. That's, well, when I calculated final blows, I was counting the other heroes he played. This is only on Genji, so I included a bunch of the other heroes that he brought to the table today.
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a lot, right? But when you consider the series ended so fast, you never had time to stat pad and farm up your stats. Because the game just ended. Right? Paraíso, we saw one cap. On Dorado, it was Chengdu spent most of the game in spawn.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's much more to say.
I mean,
They just kind of crushed them. I mean, if we have to come back and we'll talk a little bit, I guess, about this. But because we have our game break, but we'll probably mostly be setting up for the side of the Hangzhou Spark and the Shanghai Dragons. There's nothing else really to talk about, so we're going to go to a break, and we'll see you guys again in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, and everything that I'm supposed to say. My mind is exploded. Goodbye.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
All right, and we're back for our game break. I've got nothing. Do you want? Is there anything to talk about
Yeah,
here, Avril? Should
I
we
mean,
just move on to the next series?
Well, kind of, because I'll talk about the rest of Seoul. Spend a little bit of time on them because we talked about the comedy of what just happened there for the Hunters, and I said this to you during the break, but it's like it's tragic, but then also at the same time, if you look at it from the perspective of a comedy like The Room, then it is pretty funny. So that being the case,
this was a similar quality.
We just, by the way, there's one cool thing we just saw there in the replay that we didn't even catch live because obviously the POV wasn't there. But there was that extremely clutch Diva defensive matrix from Smurf onto Prophet, who was on like 5 HP on the Ana. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
But that aside, that's the kind of thing, right? Like everyone really pulled weight. This was the hardest player of the match to call. For the Seoul Dynasty, because it's like, well, everyone did well. Today wasn't even like oh yeah, Stalker destroyed them. Stalker's still on his given role. The Genji popped off, clearly. But Fitz had a great game. I thought the Tracer actually worked well in terms of the overall macro strategy. Has some risk, but I can see the planning there. I can see what it's trying to achieve and why you would play that. The Smurf Diva ended up forcing Jimmu off the Fire alongside with Fitz going towards the Ashe, which he had a great time on today. Prophet Brig, once again, proves and shows that it's not more than just good. It's forced to be reckoned with. Like he continues to hold major weight, and he really does in some ways play the Brig in such an offensive style that it does remind me of, you know, the Brig players from 2019 in the GOATS comp specifically, where it did feel very offensive. And here you have Prophet on the last map of Dorado. He's got almost as many final blows as Fitz, just down by 1. More final blows than Smurf. Generally some pretty reasonable damage coming out of Prophet with no deaths. Like, he just doesn't die as well. This guy has very low deaths, and I think that's something you have to think about in a meta where most teams would probably target the Brig as a primary player and a primary hero to get down. Prophet staying alive as much as he does is incredible. And then obviously Vindame at the end with what he does on that Ajax and how good he is just generally on his position. Second time he's done that now to a support player. The first of which was Lee Jae-gon, which is one of the best ones out there. And Vindame generally just being a strong player for this team. I mean, everybody played well. It was a whole team death versus Chengdu, and it was if I could get everybody play the match, I would, because this is like a whole team play of the match.
Yeah, I would say that this is a very worrisome start for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, because we know that these players are infinitely better than what we saw here on display today. So maybe just need to get that first loss out of the way and then can find their footing from here. But something definitely is going to have to change, and it's going to have to change very quickly if they want to find success here in this meta. Because right now, it's not going anywhere. You can try to go back to the Pharah Genji Winston all you want, but in the end, there is only Junker Queen. Everything leads to there. All roads lead to Junker Queen. So we'll see. We'll have to keep our eyes trained on them, see whether or not they can put up some stronger performances. I think it's pretty much impossible to not put up a stronger performance. And even matching what we saw here today would still be quite the feat. So I'm expecting more from the Chengdu Hunters moving forward, but the Dynasty right now very much still reaffirming themselves as the top dog here in APAC. But of course, do we always have the Shanghai Dragons, who are looking to challenge for that spot, and they're going to be coming up in our next series up against the Hangzhou Sparks. So don't go anywhere, guys. The action continues in just a few minutes. And we are back. It's time to go into our second series of the evening. We've got the Hangzhou Spark looking to bounce back after their 0-3 loss to the Seoul Dynasty just yesterday. Now taking on the Shanghai Dragons, who in their own right looked absolutely impeccable yesterday. Granted, versus an opponent that hasn't been able to put up significant numbers, but we have to see what happens now that they square off.
Yeah, and Spark definitely struggled yesterday versus the Seoul Dynasty, and I think now when you look at how good Seoul Dynasty were in just our previous series, it's not like a wild consideration. Seoul are trying to make a argument to be the #1 team in the region once again, especially with Spark kind of being taken out of the picture early. Chengdu just being dismantled there. Their opponents left to kind of get through would be Shanghai, would be #1 on the list, and debatably how Fusion look as well. We still have to see how they go when they play versus Valiant just after this, but Seoul currently looking like #1 unless Shanghai can do something about it. And I did a little bit of research, Achilles, during the break just to check league records for Dorado. Based on stats from all other seasons prior to this one, the fastest Dorado completion was between Atlanta versus Vancouver. Atlanta beating Vancouver in 2021 last year, and it was a 419 cap with a 341 time bank. So Seoul Dynasty just blew that record out of the water. Seoul Dynasty got a 417 time bank with a 343 cap. So by like 30 seconds 40. Or so, like more than 30 seconds even, they blew that record out. Now, however, I do have to say StatSlab is not updated for 2022, so we don't actually know what the current records having that impacted by 2022 results. So unless you know, anyone out there, just not even just you, Achilles, but anyone out there knows of another Dorado play this year that was faster than a 417 time bank, this is literally not only the league record, but I think a world record for Dorado as well.
Yeah, I can't think of any other Dorados, especially at least in the APAC region, that would have been this one-sided. Typically, going into the final stretch, you say like, oh wow, they have 3 minutes. It's a good amount of time to finish this, or they complete the map with 3 minutes. You're like, damn, that's a big time bank. Yeah, Dynasty absolutely just shattered that. So I would not be shocked. I'm sure that Hex and everybody getting ready for the pre-show later for North America will probably crunch the numbers and make sure that we are correct. And if it is, they can celebrate a nice little world record established here on the broadcast this evening. But yeah, it was incredible to see. But now we're going to go ahead and jump in and focus in on this next series, which should be closer, cross my fingers, that it is. But we'll take a look at the starting five at the side of the Shanghai Dragons, and it's not going to provide any surprises whatsoever for anyone who did tune in just yesterday. Void looking incredible as well in his own right on the Junker Queen. Who are you? Continuing to be one of the cleanest Genjis that we've had, period, in the league. Not just in APAC, but just across the board.
He's looking like the best. On the eye test, Who Are You is looking like the best. Shanghai is going to be a rough team to beat this meta. And I had an inkling. I had the feeling before we even saw yesterday's game that Shanghai would have come on in. Who Are You gets to come off the bench, play his best hero, a hero that really carried the Shanghai Dragons through in the kickoff clash to great success. And in my mind, if they can just do that again, I can't see Shanghai failing. Unless it's to somebody like Seoul or a better team. So they are having to play up against more and more difficult competition, though. So here's a big test for Shanghai because, okay, well, you beat up Guangzhou 3-0. That's one thing. Now do it versus somebody else because Seoul just beat Spark 3-0. So this is a bit of a litmus test. You can use Hangzhou as a bit of a comparison marker for both these teams.
Yeah, well, we'll see how they fare. And whether or not Alpha is back, because I haven't gotten confirmation on that. One would assume that we probably won't be able to see him until next week, and yeah, there you go. It's going to be Architect, who will be starting once more. He did have, a decent performance on the Genji, was able to come up with multiple kills for his squad, but unfortunately just wasn't enough. We didn't see the same, kind of level of cohesion and whatnot from this five-man setup that we are used to seeing when Alpha is playing in the DPS role.
And one other thing to consider as well, it's not just about Architect covering for Alpha Yi here, but because both Alpha Yi and Irony were in quarantine, both traveling from Korea to China to join the team in the Bilibili facility in Hangzhou, they wouldn't have had the time to scrim with the team or do anything to get ready for this competition, to this opening week of play. So it's not just that Alpha Yi isn't here, but even though Irony is here, he just hasn't been working with the team in the Junker Queen meta to get ready for this week because he's been busy traveling and living in quarantine. So yeah, it just doesn't surprise me that Spark don't have it all quite together yet, given that they are less prepared in this meta with scrim time because of players being missing and still having players missing. So it's looking like a bit of a rough week for the Hangzhou Spark. I think the silver lining is, not to count them out, but this is a very tough match for them. If they do lose today, again, they will have at least lost to the two best teams, and when they sort of get their act together in future weeks, they can maybe beat the other, 4 teams and still have a reasonable record to go through for a potential tournament qualification.
Yeah, I mean, aside from, like you said, you get these two out of the way. Fusion, maybe a team, depending on how they look in this meta, could give you a run for your money, give you a tough time. But if you can take them down, I don't think you're too concerned about what you just witnessed from the side of the Chengdu Hunters, as well as the Charge and whatnot. We still have yet to see the Valiant, so they're a little bit of an unknown quantity in their own right. But we'll have to just wait and see if the Hangzhou Spark, can bounce back, if they can put up a stronger performance. Because one of the biggest things that really was punishing them was Dynasty's consistent ability to get on top of Shy and take him out early. They were focus firing the hell out of him. He did not get to find too much value. You can see when he was alive, when he was playing that Sojourn, he was coming up with fantastic headshots, grabbing picks for his squad, but more often than not, it was Dynasty getting right up on him and being able to take him out of the fight before it even really began. So if they can protect him a bit better, if Architect can play out these neutral fights a little bit more cleanly, find more value on that Genji, I think that Spark absolutely have a fighting chance. But it is the Dragon, so their work is cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, if Stalker does that, Who Are You could probably do that as well, and maybe even then some. So Shy is, not just Shy, but the rest of the team protecting Shy as well. They got to be able to keep him up, keep your star player up and available to make sure he can get the damage done. Who Are You? He's prepping. He's got to keep his cybernetic eyes oiled up.
Yeah.
He's got to grease it all up, and he's meditating. He's ready. He's got the hair clips in to expose the cranium a little bit more. He's got to allow the brain to expand. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be blocking your brain expansion. Keep it clear.
His third eye is going to open on his forehead, and that's how he makes all the plays that he's able to make. He's just got that. He would just have to wait and see it happen. It's going to be like Hiei and Yu Hakusho when the eyeball just opens up there. Well, let's see what happens, though, as we jump into the action.
Thoroughly enjoying the double home team colors as well. So,
yeah.
Goodbye away white colors that I can't read. Let's go into our opening map here. Just very quickly before we get in, because I know people are going to be at me on Twitter in just a hot second. But I got baited by Stats Lab. When you include all the stats from all the seasons, Boston Shanghai was technically faster by 6 seconds. There was a 4:11 time back. Boston versus Shanghai in 2018. Boston the attacker. That's the only record that is better. So that Seoul record, though, that's still number 2 of all time. Number 2 of all time.
Okay. Also, it was the 2018 Shanghai. So, there's some caveats. But, for a modern-day record to be set like that, truly incredible. Who are you? Already getting on top of Shy.
It's just like yesterday.
Talking about. Yep, need to be able to protect this man if you want to find success. So far, does not work out. Very forward and aggressive chase here from the side of the Dragons. Who are you just trying to get every little ounce of value that he can, build up towards that Dragon Blade just a little bit faster. Point now going to be unlocked. They will go ahead and be able to get this first cap with relative ease.
Wow. And as we expected as well, Who Are You way ahead of Architect. I mean, he kind of did that in his opening match with Tristan 1 as well. So another historically good Genji player that he is currently dipping as far as damage output. Burnout super low, but he lives.
Just find one. Shy going to be able to get a kill before he gets taken down by Who Are You, who then follows up with a second. Tries to kite out. The health pack not there. Joins in with a J-Gun, but the healing through, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive. So it's a quick turnaround here for the side of the Spark. Good early kills to allow them to still win out the fight.
Yeah, that was great by Burnout, staying alive and gets the axe kill as well. So very critical HP. Could have been finished off. Survives, doesn't allow Shanghai to have much more than 22% on that marker, which is, it's reasonable, but it will be overtaken in a hot second while you're about to have that play. So in a meta where it's rare to see any player have an ultimate, 2 to 3 fights in, I mean, this is just great pace.
And it is. Rail at the ready. Who Are You? Pulling the blade, looking for a target, dashes in. Irony once more going to be taken out, and there's Shy again. Finds the same duo of players for his eliminations. AJ Gon finds Super Rich in the back end. The flip is there, and once more it seems like Dragons in control will be able to retake the lead for themselves.
You see that Super Rich was on 99% as well, dying, so it's like the margins are so slim. The fact that Who is just ever so slightly outpacing other players, not even Architect, but the supports most importantly, because had that gone for a little bit longer, had Who waited to pull the blade a bit longer, maybe Super Rich gets that sound barrier in time and it's a different fight entirely. The fact that Shanghai Dragons can just rely on one player to outpace everybody just gives them so much to work with.
Rally rolling here from Irony. Izayaki not quite having his own yet. Who are you? Going to get pressured out. The Dragon Blade actually going to take him down. Bernard with a nice pick. Sound Barrier still going to be committed to the fight. Now going to be matched by Super Rich. Blade is there from Architect. He gets zoned back away. Bernard, however, still finding a second follow-up kill here in the fight. So they do manage to win this one out. Still making their way over steadily towards the point, however. Lip won't punish Shy. With Void taken down, however, it seems like that should be just about enough for the Hangzhou Spark to be able to flip this back in their favor. But you can see that the Dragons are still going to keep contesting this one. Who are you? Dashing forward, playing on the opposite side of the pillar, just breaking line of sight, trying to make sure that they can gain as much percentage here as humanly possible. But the Spark do manage to snatch it away. With Lee Jae-gon going down, the rest of the team will retreat.
Yeah, I was going to say that's ballsy from the Shanghai Dragons as well because they don't have Void, so until Void returns on the JQ, you can't really contest properly. You're kind of just dipping a toe in and out, but somebody's eventually going to get punished because Hangzhou Spark. All they have to do is rush in as 5. I mean, you don't have a tank, we do. We can just get in your face. Lee Jae-gon does get punished, and now the reset is a full 5, but they have a lot of ultimates.
Okay, well, Rampage, big value. Managing to find 4. Izayaki the only one eluding that. Architect, however, diving forward, still going to get cut down to size. Shy sliding away. Overclock still there for him for just a little bit longer, but it's going to be Lip who comes up with kills. Doesn't even have to utilize the ult. Just takes out Super Rich with a nice little headshot. Looks for a little bit more. Shy quite far forward. As the pressure comes in, he's not going to be able to escape. So before they can retake the lead here, the Spark going to lose the point. Shanghai back in control, taking this to final fight territory.
And this is the ultimate difference as well, because Hangzhou Spark, despite winning an earlier fight to take them to 76, right, they spent 3 ultimates to 1 and still lost Shy in that fight on the retreat. So that's why Shanghai Dragons return, even with Lee Jae-gon dead. They have way more ultimates now, final fight, like you said. And we have Rampage, Overclock, no defenses from the Spark. They're just going to have to take this one on the chin. Or not even touch.
Yeah. Won't be able to get there in time. Super Rich just a little bit too late. Still, keeping it widely competitive here are the Spark. That's just going to be the first round out of the way. So now we shift away from Control Center. Let's see what we get. Will it be Gardens? No, it's going to be Night Market. That's the staging ground. It's Dynasty, or Dragons rather, look for a 2-0.
And I think in the ending of that Control Center as well, you know, you might be thinking the C9, you might be spamming that in the chat, but like honestly, I don't think it made a difference. Had Hangzhou contested, they eat the Rampage and the Overclock, they lose anyway. I think there was a minute chance of Spark doing anything useful in that final fight. Shanghai out-macroed them economically since from beginning, from first fight to last fight. And now as we head over towards Gardens, see if we get more of the same. Remember, Shy got first blooded out the gate almost instantly by Who Are You on Control Center. So once more, you have to do a lot to keep him alive currently. They're going to be taking the coastal route.
Whoa. Okay.
He's a Lucio, he's fine.
Little scary moment there, though, for Super Rich. He manages to stabilize, get himself back onto solid ground as the poking and prodding now begins. And the inside track on the point. He's trying to make his way forward, takes a nasty shot. Commanding shout going to be used now by Bernard. Irony again, going to get isolated, gets taken down, but Architect is making up for it. Izayaki and Lip both now eliminated. Who Are You, however? He's got a couple members corralled here into the corner with a little bit of reinforcement. They should be able to take him down, and there it is. Void arrives, they find the kills. Architect trying to fight back. Go ahead, get rid of the tank, and I don't think there's going to be too much that Who Are You can do here versus Bernard, so we'll just go ahead and make his leave. Spark should be able to go ahead and lock this point down.
On a 1 versus 1. It's going to be too hard for Who Are You to even accomplish. So the first cap going the way of the Hangzhou Spark. Credit to Architect who got a double kill there, but notice that even with Architect getting frags, Who Are You still comes out ahead, even just slightly. So the damage output is great. Lip gets a shot into Shy. First blood.
Yep, that's going to allow him to take the lead as well for the Overclock. Throws down the nade, goes sliding backward. Perfect timing as well, because Architect was coming in from the flank to try to get the punish. He eludes that. Now Irony dead. Bernard out of the fray as well. Cleanup will just be coming through here. Super Rich going to try to make his exit. Health pack wasn't there for him. A couple shurikens would finish the job. Can't quite line him up. The flip is there. Dragons now in control. Only 25% set up here for the Spark.
Yeah, Who Are You just going over the Lip to try and get some extra ult charge. You can see that he's 95, right? So just doing what he can to collect a couple more. His dash was actually on cooldown. That's why he couldn't secure the kill into Super Rich. Otherwise, he 100% would have gone in. Now that he has a Blade 20% ahead of Architect, it's Blade time for sure. First ultimate of the round.
Oh boy. Oh, Bernard backed up there into the corner. Who are you still will fall. Bernard just cutting back into his team, manages to pull the axe, finds that kill. Rally now rolling down from Izayaki as they want to continue to fight this out and look for the win. Overclock as well, going to get popped. The sound barriers there from Super Rich. Now it's going to be the Dragons who are on the back foot to pull away from this position. Still a good amount of damage getting pumped out into them. Irony nearly taken down. That rally almost got canceled. And he will thank his lucky stars that it did not. So now they continue to push forward. A rampage available as Void will fall. Bernard, he might not even need to use this. So for the fight still happening very much away from the points, and the Dragons continue to tick up, but Spark winning it out like this seems rather good for them. The ante now out onto 4 players. All 4 that were left alive. They do successfully pull away, but as I say it, Izayaki will die right on the back end.
You can't afford to have Izayaki die because Void just got back. They don't have 5. They needed all players alive, and now they're just kind of having kills go awry. Who are you? That's a bit of a misstep. Decides to go in and just feed. So that is a big blow to the Shanghai Dragons, considering they otherwise were in a reasonable spot. They had the sound barrier just running out as the bleed damage was falling off as well. So 4 members anti, 4 members low, but had they survived with Void coming back in, put in a reset, actual 5v5 gameplay after that, then they're okay. Now they're behind. Now they'll get overtaken.
Okay, Void, look at the
boop again.
What?
The table
my God, the
him.
boop. It denies everything away, yeah. It's knocked back behind the table, cannot charge forward, so the Rampage not going to be able to find anything. We'll see if that matters, as the Genji's so far going to be traded out, but Lip manages to help trade up. Takes down Shy. Turn their sights over towards the point as well as the remaining members here on the side of the Spark. Lip, low HP. He is limit testing like an absolute madman. Down to 8 HP, but they finally will be able to go ahead and top him back up. The flip about to be there. Spark, they recontest for just a brief little moment here, but if they exit the point for any period of time, yeah, the cap is going to be there. Izayaki moves forward, does find Bernard. Now the rest of the chase comes in as the Dragons, they want this big punish. Lip, however, still going to get taken down. Will manage to get Shy in the exchange. Dash away. Architect staying at an arm's length, making sure that Void cannot strike him down.
Yep, they're going to chase him down now as well, with Irony and the rest of the squad coming on in. Izayaki turns it, rally on the opposite end, and we're just trading places. Who has to be forcing the choke? Currently it's Hangzhou Spark trying to get out of it. Will we find a fight territory in just a few as well as we reach towards that 99%?
Crucially, yep, this blade is here, but it is going to be the sound barrier in response. Super Rich trying to keep everybody safe, where you continues to just plus forward, trying to find some kills, and actually
touching?
Got Shy into a corner, had him low, but he's not going to be able to get him. Yeah, somebody needs a touch, as you say. Super Rich is on his way as his Architect, so they have the 2-man touch. Now they're looking for the flip. The rejoin is there, Lee Jing-on, denying them from being able to take this for now. Lip, a bit of an awkward spot, takes the slide over to the side, joins back in, gets some heals. Super Rich now taken down. A lot of the delay denied away from the side of the Spark, and that's all of the delay now taken out. And it will, in fact, be that 2-0, but 2 fairly close rounds, very back and forth between these 2 squads. Once more, at least here on control, Hangzhou Spark are showing signs of life. They're looking cleaner, looking a bit more cohesive than what we saw even yesterday. Question is, does it continue as we move into different map types?
Well, they're looking like they're able to put some damage, and I will say the one difference maker just in that argument is that Hangzhou Spark did actually take a round of Seoul Dynasty on Ilios yesterday. Here, they unfortunately do go down 0-2 in the opening map, so that's maybe one difference. However, I would say despite going down 0-2, there were some reasonable moments there. But even the worst moments for Shanghai, to speak to them a little bit here, even the worst moments for Shanghai, including the Izayaki being caught out at the wrong time there on one of the last fights, to Who Are You then feeding after that as well, to Void getting booped and slamming his Rampage into a desk. Even those worst moments occurring, Shanghai still stabilized. They still never allowed the game to get out of their hands, slip through their fingers. They still held the game and controlled the game firmly within their grip, despite all the worst moments happening, and they just recovered. Really great teams showing good macro decision-making to recover in situations that look bad to still get a win.
Yeah, but also not infallible. We did see some boneheaded moves there from the side of the Dragons. Who are you? Overextending, getting picked off moments after Izayaki had died at that crucial juncture. So they need to tighten up in that regard on the side of the Dragons if they want to be able to take this cleanly. Otherwise, if they continue to give avenues of approach over to Spark like that, they're absolutely going to grab them and run with them. So we'll see if the Dragons can tighten up and go ahead and also, look to deliver yet another 3-0, or if the Hangzhou Spark are going to be able to fight back. We're going to the hybrid next. We'll see what happens when we return.